Muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Es un orgullo y la verdad estamos muy emocionados de tener a este señor George Romero con nosotros, que realmente llevó el cine de terror a otro nivel con la creación de los zombies. Creo que vi unos zombies por aquí. Ahorita podemos conseguirte un café. Obviamente George está considerado un ícono del género, ayudó a crecerlo y realmente ponerlo en el mapa. Y para nosotros, estamos cumpliendo 20 años este año, no podemos haber tenido un mejor regalo que tenerlo aquí con nosotros, y más en esta época que estamos obviamente celebrando Halloween y todo el Día de Muertos.
How did you choose the rest of the cast? That we know from the prologue of the novel that you chose the main actor. How did you go about choosing the rest of the cast for that movie?
For the original film?
Yeah, for the original.
You know, all of those people were friends of ours. They worked in television and in Pittsburgh. We made the film in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And they were all friends of ours, including Dwayne, who played the lead role. And I'll tell a story.
Okay. Que todos ellos eran amigos de la producción, que trabajaban, que vivían con ellos en Pittsburgh, incluyendo Dwayne, y que ahorita tiene una historia que contarnos.
When Dwayne agreed to play that role, we didn't change the script. Jack and I were originally writing the script in our minds, he was a Caucasian. And when Dwayne agreed to play the role, we said, you know, we thought we were going to be real hip and not change the script. And so people have come to think of it as a racial statement, particularly what happens to Dwayne at the end. But when we first wrote the script, we didn't have that in mind. The guy was white in our mind. So, you know, it goes to show you how people read things into.
Nos comenta que cuando hicieron el cast para Dwayne, tenían el guión pensado para una persona blanca, y que bueno, él aceptó tomar el papel, y que posteriormente lo que pasa en la película, que él muere al final, la gente piensa que fue como que hacer un hincapié en algo racial, pero fue pura casualidad, ¿no? Que originalmente el guión estaba escrito para una persona blanca y no de color.
We knew it would be stronger, and Dwayne particularly knew he was more sensitive than any of us. You know, he said there's a scene where he has to punch Judy, and punch a Judy, and he was terrified of that. He said, you know what's going to happen to me when I walk out of the theater? You know, he was really sensitive to all of those issues. And we knew that it would have a certain strength, but we never thought that it would become the big thing that people spoke about and wrote about.
Que él era muy sensible, Dwayne, en cuanto al papel, especialmente comenta en una escena donde tiene que golpear a Judy. Le comentaba que qué iba a pasar cuando él saliera del cine y lo vieran, ¿no? Qué repercusión iba a tener. Y de hecho fue algo que no pensaron, y fue algo que pues se fue dando y que ya tuvo la repercusión que la gente. What you did with zombies in movies, if you could choose to make it with any other monster, what monster would it be?
I don't know. I really don't know. I wrote a script for Dracula, and I really hoped that it would get made. ABC bought it. Now I can't get it back, unfortunately. But it was really like Stoker. I wanted to do the original Stoker. It's just like, it's never been done, actually. Nor has Frankenstein ever been done. And I'd like to try those, but you know, just because those are sort of the classics. But I don't think anybody wants to make them the way they were written.
Nos cuenta que fue Drácula, que de hecho él escribió un guión para una película de Drácula que la compró la CBS y lo guardaron, no se ha hecho, no lo he podido incluso recuperar, pero que realmente cada cineasta quiere hacer como que su propia historia en cuanto a los personajes, no copiar lo que ya existe.
Pero por eso, esa misma respuesta que dio el señor Romero, elementos que él hizo para Drácula, ¿los puso en Martin?
¿En Martin? Did you use any of those elements you wrote for Dracula for Martin?
No. This was way later. Martin was, I think, 76, 77, something like that. This was way later. It's just a few years ago. We wrote it for ABC.
Eso fue mucho después. Martin fue en 76, 77 y creo que se hizo para la serie de So being here, she's from Gossip Magazine, and she'd like to know which are the nightmares that George Romero has.
They're all about people. And war. You know, when I was a kid, the one nightmares were. It was right when in the United States, I was growing up in New York City, and it was right at the time when we heard on the news that the Russians had the atomic bomb, and immediately I started to have nightmares about the bomb. And so I've been dreaming of just about things like that for ever since my childhood. So it's all what people do to people.
Que las pesadillas principalmente son acerca de la gente, que es cuando estaba creciendo, recuerda haber escuchado de lo que era la bomba atómica que tenía Rusia y que en base a eso empezaron a tener pesadillas y bueno, que las pesadillas son en base a lo que la gente le hace.
We finally got it.
Do you still have those dreams?
Sorry?
Do you still have those dreams?
Nightmares.
The nightmares?
Dreams, yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes I still do. The bomb is back, you know.
Todavía, no. That, if you mind, the change that's been doing to the zombies, now they run and they're really fast. How do you feel about the change from your zombies that they're slow to the new zombies that they're really fast?
Well, the newest zombies on The Walking Dead are slow again, but they're dead. You see, I think the ones in 28 Days Later, they're not dead. And even when they remade a film of mine called The Crazies, they were, very energetic, and it was almost became a zombie film. But I don't think they're dead, except in Dawn of the Dead. I just thought it was ridiculous. The way how quickly they moved. In fact, they undercranked it so that they made them move faster than they could actually run. And I just don't think that's possible. I think that their ankles would snap.
Bueno, que cree que no le gusta, por ejemplo, que primero los zombies ya volvieron a ser como que un poquito más lentos, por ejemplo en la serie de Walking Dead, pero que en algunos remakes, por ejemplo en el remake de Dawn of the Dead, que los zombies cambian demasiado rápido, que incluso los tobillos se les romperían para esa velocidad. What inspired you to make zombie films?
Oh, you know, I never thought of Night of the Living Dead as a zombie film. I never called them zombies. I never thought they were zombies. I thought they were ghouls. They were flesh eaters. In fact, our original title was Night of the Flesh Eaters. The distributor's title, they changed the title to Night of the Living Dead. And there's a sad story behind that because we lost the copyright when they changed the title. But to me, back then, zombies were the voodoo, Caribbean zombies. And I thought that was a completely different kind of creature.
Que él pensaba realmente no como un concepto zombie, sino que gente que comía carne, almas del purgatorio, y que de hecho el título original era La noche de los come carne, por así decirlo, pero que le cambiaron el título y que de hecho eso fue muy muy triste porque perdieron los derechos de la película.
Pero no se iba a llamar La Noche de Anubis, Night of Anubis.
Was it originally going to be called Night of Anubis?
Yes, that was, but we never tried to sell it under that title. We realized it was not a commercial title. So when we first went to New York with it, it was called Night of the Flesh Eaters. That's the title that the distributors changed.
It's been rumored that you were offered to direct an episode on Walking Dead. If this is true, what happened with that?
I just didn't want to do it. Frank Darabont is an old friend. We have hung out together with actually Steve King and I and Frank have shared many spaghetti dinners. Frank cooks spaghetti, and we know each other for a long time. And so he asked me to do a couple of the episodes, and I said, I really don't, my zombies are my own. And I love the books, but I didn't want to do somebody else's zombie.
Sí que es cierto que se iba con Frank Darabont y con Stephen King, de hecho que han ido a cenar y que Frank hace espagueti para ellos, pero que sí le ofrecieron el dirigir unos episodios, pero que él dijo que no, que bueno, los zombies que él maneja son diferentes a los que él tiene, ¿no? Entonces que prefirió manejar sus propios